Hey, shalom, shalom. Hebrew mathematics dealing with today's date. And remember, me sharing this information with you and you learn this information is meant to accomplish three different goals, three different objectives. The one is to give you proficiency with the 22 Hebrew alphabet letters, their meaning and their value. For example, Yod, the 10th letter, has a value of 10, and it's a hand. The second thing that we want to accomplish is to be able to decipher words and numbers in their basic natural form. For example, if we say the Hebrew word for book or for counting or for a person that is a scribe, the three letters in that are Sefer or Seper. All right, Sa, Pa, and Ra, which have a value of 60, 80, and 200, which total up to seven when you add all those letters, numbers together. Um, and that's going to be Zayin or weapon, which is the seventh letter of the alphabet. So that's the vibration of that word. That's mathematically what it adds up to. And the third goal that we want to accomplish by dealing with the Hebrew mathematics is to have using letters to develop expansive and abstract thinking of holy subjects, to be able to look at holy subjects, look at the numbers, look at the letters, and look at what they represent, and to get the abstract meaning, the expansive meaning of that word, of that number, based on the value of it. As we said, right now we're in the fourth month. Okay, that's the number four. The fourth letter of our uh, Hebrew alphabet is called the Daleth, which looks like a triangle. A Daleth, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daleth. So Daleth has three sides. So you can take those three sides and you can take the fourth letter, and that will give you seven, which is Zayin, which is a weapon. Or we can just deal with it fundamentally of the four. And that four is going to take us into Daleth. Daleth means a door going in something or going out of something. It's a barrier with two different things um, on the outside and on the inside. It's meant to give a concrete separation, a concrete division that a person can go in and out of. All right. And oftentimes you can't see what's on the other side of a door, but you know it's there. So it gives a sense of privacy. Right. That's the understanding when you see a word that begins with that particular number. All right. Now, today's lunar date, which means where we are in the progression of the day of the month. Okay, right now on this Tuesday, July 8th, we happen to fall into the 14th day of the month. From last night, Monday, until today, tonight, we will be in the 14th Hebrew month. Now, the first number of that is Aleph, okay, and the second letter of that is a Daleth. So it's Aleph and Daleth, which makes it sound odd, or Aleph Daleth. What it represents is an ox and a door. All right, so that would represent um, on its primary understanding, it would be the ox of the door. So the energy, the work, the resources, the strength of the door, right? The strength of the door. So the power of understanding, transitioning between two different zones that has a separation or division that you may not be able to see. So that is really going into and faith, hope and faith, in what we can't see, but what we may know is going to be on the other side. Shalom, Fernandez. Una bendición para verte. All right. So what you may not understand or see, but it so has faith and have elements of hope attached to it also, with those two letters. So we have an ox, we have a door, which Aleph, okay, is going to be the first letter one, and then the Daleth is going to be the fourth letter. All right. So now, if we break it down into separations of tens and fives, we have a Yod, a hand, representing the number 10. And then we have a Daleth representing the number 4. So we have 10 and 4. We have a hand and we have a door working together. So that, of course, represents making a conscious choice or decision to go from one side to another, to be aware of the situation and to move from one situation to another situation. Okay. So that's what that number would represent. Now, when we bring both of those digits together, which is the ultimate goal, right? Because everything needs to be cut down to the most organic form possible, which is a one-digit number. So when we take that one and we add that four, 1 and 4 from 14, and bring them together, now we get hey, which is ha aleph bet gimel dalet hey. Ba ga da ha alap bayaf gamal dalaf ha. So we have the number 5. Okay, which of course we have 5 fingers, we have 5 senses, and most importantly, we have 5 books of the Torah to let us know what we can put our hand to, what we can do with our senses. All right, and that controls everything about our essence, our 5 senses, being able to see something, being able to smell something, all right, being able to taste something, being able to speak, being able to hear something, and being able to touch, to handle something is going to be essential in your human existence. And that's, we see that 5 coming together with that yod and that door. Remember, the yod represents 10 and 14, and the Daleth represents the 4 and 14. So we have your hand, or the power, which has 5 fingers, going to a door and opening that door, all right, or closing that door. Either way, you take those 5 fingers and you make a decision to go ahead and go forward and to, step through or step out, depending on whichever is the situation that's going to be best for your brother, best for your neighbor, best for your family. Because remember, we love our neighbor. The scripture says, "Ahapta lara ika kamawaka," love to your neighbor like you love yourself. All right, so we're making decisions that are going to be beneficial for the group, the family, the community, not just for ourself. All right, remember, true leader, a true father is selfless in his decision making process. It's not about what's going to be most pleasing to him. It's about what's going to be to the greater long term benefit of the body, of the family, right, of the situation in general. Okay. So again, 4th month, Dalath. And we see that 4th month, we see that Dalath again in the date, which is 14. So if we bring them together, we have Daleth, Yod, and Daleth, or Dalath, Yad, and Dalath, door, hand, and door, which represents a progression of moving from when we started, putting our hand and strength to something. So the door of the hand of the door. So we have that kind of circular thinking, which is what our senses do. We constantly reprogram and reprocess and intake the same things, sometimes to the point to where we may not understand and see what's going on because we've seen something so much, so we don't notice if something's different. So this combination of the hand and the door encourages us to use all of our 5 senses to receive the instruction and to share the instruction and righteousness that we have, that we've acquired, in order to make man better, make our brother and our sister, and make our families better. So that's today's mathematics on this date of the 12th of the 14th day of the 4th Chodesh, the fourth Chodesh, the fourth new moon. All right, so I'm gonna keep it light. I'm gonna keep it brief. Hope it makes sense to you. Give me your feedback. Give me your input, and try it for yourself. Look at the dates. Look at the numbers. And what this is gonna do again is gonna allow you to accomplish three primary tasks. Number one, it's gonna give you proficiency in the Hebrew letters, their meanings, and their values. Number two, it's gonna allow you to decipher words and numbers in their basic natural form. And number three is going to allow you to use concrete letters to develop abstract and expansive thinking on holy subjects. So it allows you better access to understanding, which allows you better discretion, which allows you better equity, which allows you better righteousness, which allows you better justice. And then ultimately, your judgment will be better. And executing that judgment righteously allows you to have a better insight into wisdom, all right, more of a relationship with wisdom. And before we go, we're dealing with number five, so we have to deal with the fifth pillar of wisdom, all right, which is going to be equity, balancing things out. And that's what you do with your hands. You balance things out with your hands. You count money with your hands. You wash your body with your hands. You eat with your hands. You bring the balance and restoration with your hand. So that's what we see equity. All right. Now, when we go into the 5 steps of Hamashiach, the fifth step is going to be a branch bringing forth fruit. You have to bring forth fruit in what you're doing. If you don't bring forth fruit, you will be cut down and thrown into the fire, meaning you'll be destroyed now and later if you don't bring forth fruits of righteousness. So that's the fifth step of Hamashiach. Um, Again, if you are able to bring forth fruit, it's going to be to your benefit and to the benefit of your fellow man, your fellow servant, people around you, in general, whether you're at the grocery store, you bring forth fruit that's meat for repentance. Meat meaning appropriate. So you bring forth fruit that demonstrates you've made a 180-degree turn from negative toward positive. All right. But you have to use your senses and use your hands to change the way you think, to change the way you see things, to change the way you hear and talk, and that will bring you into a level of righteousness. All right. So we have ha'ah, beholding something from the date itself. And then we have the fifth pillar of wisdom, equity, balancing things out, understanding and distinguishing right from wrong, and being able to fairly execute the understanding that you have. And then the fifth step that Hamashiach gave us, which is going to be being able to make sure you bring forth fruit. Remember, for wisdom, we have knowledge, instruction, understanding, discretion, equity, all right? Then justice, then judgment. And for Hamashiach, the 7 steps that he gave us, we have becoming as a child, and then we have dying, then we have being born again or being a new creature, and then we have being a branch, and then we have a branch that brings forth fruit, and we have a light, okay, and we have being able to be a master builder, meaning to help edify people become greater and people become closer to Hamashiach, his way of being, closer to King David, his way of being closer to Moses, his way of being, which ultimately brings us closer to Yahweh and how he wants us to be. So that's 14 minutes going on 15, which is very appropriate because we're in the 14th day. Now we can end this at 1444. We be good, all right? 1444. All right, so take these lessons, use them, read the Bible, do the math with the letters, see what the math means, see what the letters mean to get a better understanding. All right, shalom.